No one expected this moment, not even the most devoted ARMY who had followed every step of Jin's monumental solo tour. Just as the final lights of the run, Seokjin concert flickered across the massive Incheon Munhak Stadium, a figure appeared from the shadows. The crowd froze. Then, within seconds, the stadium erupted. It was Chris Martin. Yes, the Chris Martin of Coldplay, walking calmly onto Jin's stage as if destiny itself had planned the encounter. What was supposed to be Jin's farewell to his 9-city tour instantly turned into one of the most unforgettable nights in K-pop and global music history. But how did this happen, and why at this exact moment? From the beginning, Jin's final concert had been announced as a deeply personal event, an emotional closure to his first major solo journey since BTS's hiatus. Every ticket sold out in seconds, every broadcast slot was flooded with anticipation, and fans across continents waited for a surprise that Jin had teased for weeks, but never revealed. When Chris Martin appeared without prior announcement, the question became louder than the cheers. What secret had been hidden behind this stage? Eyewitnesses say Jin looked genuinely shocked when Chris walked in during the encore section. Jin, who had just finished performing The Astronaut, a song originally written with Chris Martin himself, turned toward the audience, bowed deeply, and then froze as the familiar Coldplay frontman took the microphone. For a brief second, Jin's expression shifted between disbelief and pure emotion. Cameras captured that moment, his eyes wide, his lips parting in surprise, and then breaking into the soft, teary smile ARMY has come to know so well. Chris Martin greeted him with a quiet, "You didn't think I'd miss this, did you?" The entire crowd screamed. It wasn't just a collaboration, it was a reunion, a closure, and perhaps a beginning of something even greater. Those who were there described the atmosphere as almost surreal, as if the two artists were rewriting their shared story right before everyone's eyes. The stage lights dimmed again. Jin and Chris sat side by side on stools under a single spotlight. They performed The Astronaut, but this time it felt different. Heavier, more intimate. The harmonies were raw, the pauses between lyrics filled with emotion too real to rehearse. Even the background visuals seemed to respond to their energy. Stars slowly spinning, constellations forming the shape of a lone astronaut drifting through space. The same imagery that had symbolized Jin's solo era. What's truly remarkable is that no one, not even the staff or the tour production team, leaked any information about Chris Martin's appearance. Everything was kept secret until that precise second. Sources close to the team hinted that Chris arrived in Seoul just 10 hours before the show, avoiding all media coverage and entering the venue through a private gate under HYB's highest level of security. The operation was as tightly guarded as a diplomatic mission. So why go through all that effort? What message were they trying to deliver? Industry observers believe this was more than just a performance. It was a symbolic passing of creative light between two artists who have shared mutual respect since their first collaboration in 2022. At that time, Chris Martin personally handed The Astronaut to Jin, calling him one of the purest souls I've met in music. Tonight, that bond was visible again, but deeper, mature, and unspoken. When the song ended, Jin stood still, looking up at the glowing purple sea of light sticks. He didn't speak for nearly 30 seconds. The silence was powerful, louder than any sound that had filled the arena before. Then, Jin took the mic and whispered, "This is not just my last show. It's a promise." No one knew what he meant, but Chris Martin nodded beside him. It was as if they were sharing something the audience wasn't supposed to understand yet. Immediately, theories exploded across online communities. Was this a sign of a future BTS x Coldplay collaboration? Or perhaps a new musical project Jin and Chris had quietly been building during Jin's military service? Fans noticed small hints that now make more sense. 2 weeks ago, Chris Martin posted a cryptic message on social media. Some journeys never end, they just find new stars. No one paid much attention then until tonight. Now, armies are dissecting every lyric, every symbol from Jin's performances across the tour to look for clues. From the recurring astronaut motif to the closing phrase on the concert screens, "See you where the stars meet." Everything seems to connect to this moment. After their duet, Chris handed Jin a small, silver guitar pick engraved with the words, "For the one who kept believing." Jin accepted it with trembling hands, bowed again, and hugged Chris tightly, a gesture that said everything without words. Cameras zoomed in on Jin's eyes, glistening under the spotlight. It wasn't just gratitude, it was farewell, relief, and hope all at once. Behind the scenes, staff members reported that Jin and Chris spent nearly an hour together after the concert ended. They reportedly talked in the dressing room, laughing, reminiscing, and even sketching something on a piece of paper that fans suspect could be related to new music. When Jin finally walked out to greet the remaining crew, he said softly, "It feels like I've come full circle." That single sentence has become the headline of the night. Because indeed, it wasn't just a concert. It was the end of one chapter and the subtle beginning of another. For Jin, who had carried the emotional weight of representing BTS during his solo tour, this final show was a moment of personal liberation. And for ARMY, it was proof that Jin's artistry continues to evolve beyond boundaries, even when he stands alone on stage. Still, many questions remain unanswered. Why did Chris choose to appear unannounced at this specific concert? Was it a mutual decision or a surprise, even to Jin himself? And what did that whispered phrase between them, caught faintly on a backstage mic, really mean? Some fans claim to have heard Chris saying, "It's time for your next journey," to which Jin replied, "Then let's make it together." If true, that could mean the two artists are preparing something entirely new, something the world hasn't seen yet. The emotional power of this moment has transcended fan boundaries. Even international media outlets are calling it one of the most significant live collaborations of the decade. Critics note that it wasn't about production or spectacle, it was about sincerity, timing, and the rare human connection between two artists from completely different worlds. As dawn broke over Incheon, fans still lingered outside the stadium, singing "The Astronaut" together under the morning sky. Their voices carried what Jin and Chris had created on stage, a reminder that sometimes music doesn't just entertain. It heals, it unites, and it speaks when words fail. So, what really happened at Jin's final tour? Perhaps it was less about the surprise and more about the statement that artistry knows no boundaries, that goodbyes can be beginnings, and that even at the end of a long journey, one song can bring two worlds together. The night Jin met Chris Martin again wasn't just another performance. It was history written in real time, and the world is still trying to understand what it truly meant.